bottom up windmill. So we're gonna call this a bottom up, meaning that the motion is coming from our legs first and then driving up into our thoracic spine, where I'm trying to use that weight to kind of stabilize it. So we can use this as involved in a series of progressions and regressions of windmill to try to use the weight to create a little bit of a lock with our upper extremity. That also creates a little bit of a load into the shoulder joint, and that way we have kind of like the rib cage moving around the shoulder blade moving around the rib cage, and then we're creating rotation with our legs to drive motion into our back. So a lot of times what we'll see is on the floor where people will really push off and they'll try to create the rotation and they'll go too fast, or they'll go too heavy and they can't keep their arm all the way locked out, pressed away from their body to kind of get some of that shoulder girdle involvement as you go through the rotation. So the idea here is that if I'm on my back and that weight, I'm gonna try to push that weight away from me. And I like to coach the idea of looking at the weight. It kind of helps create more stability. And then I'm putting my arm out to the side. Now, this is what I was talking about. People will put their foot down and then they'll push off and then they'll step over. Versus keeping this leg, the knee at 90, the hip flexed to 90, I can use my trunk muscles to create the rotation, kind of reach across with my leg, and then my legs are rotating over to where my shin hits the ground, and then my shoulders are gonna come all the way over to where they're stacked, and I'm still kind of eyeing that weight, and I'm keeping it punched toward the ceiling as far as I can. I'm not allowing it to kind of pull me down toward the ground. So I'm pressing away from me, and then I rotate back out of that. Rotate over, come all the way to the ground, and then I'm just transitioning in between those 2 points. Now I'm trying to maintain my tension or bracing, but I'm also being mindful that I'm breathing as I'm transitioning between those 2 points. If you find that you have to put your foot down to create a little bit of momentum to then rotate over, the weight is too heavy. We want to be able to use your trunk muscles to be able to get the rotation. And then if you're unable to keep that arm locked out and getting fully over, the weight in and of itself is too heavy as well. So again, we're using kind of this positioning to put a little bit of load into the shoulder joint. We're trying to drive some rotation into your upper back and some shoulder stability all at the same time.